Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Alone in the Dark Part 2. Today we're exploring the library, and honestly we should probably finish off the parts that we've got left to do. Well, I'm going to stop that because there's a weird noise. Not like an unpleasant weird noise or a scary weird noise, but it's something to do with the Dreamcast or something.
It's awesome.
Don't touch anything. It probably contains treasures.
Do you really think I don't know the difference between a pulp novel and an Elsevier edition?
An Elsevier? I'd never have guessed that such a term were part of your vocabulary.
Oh yeah? Well, don't worry. I'm just full of surprises. Over.
She's so like, oh, can't be, you're just some gung-ho fool. Right, activated the lights. We can read about the Morton family history while we're here. This is probably the best book in the game to read, if you want a backstory on everything. However, it is pretty long, so I'll try and breeze through it. Richard Morton back from an exploration in front of one of his ships. The history of the famous Boston dynasty is a tale full of unexplained events, surprises, and troubles. Some will claim my only goal in telling it is to damage the reputation of one of the most legendary fortunes of Massachusetts. I would like to say that in my defense, I am simply doing my duty as a historian. My account is based on reliable sources and interviews with witnesses who, though they may be evasive, are no less worthy of our interest. If I echo certain rumours, it is a belief that they too are constitutive of the Morton family history. There's a receipt or something. Contract for the exploitation of natural resources in Puebla, Venezuela, signed by representative of the Venezuelan government by Richard Morton. The Morton family roots in America go back to the time of the great demographic changes during the decades following the founding of the USA, although it's impossible to reconstruct the family history further back than the beginning of the 19th century. It appears that the family originated from a small town of Whitechapel, Sussex, England. It was Robert Morton, a linen merchant, who led his family to the American continent. In 1823, he built a first paper factory on the heights of Beacon Hill. The success of the Morton papers was dazzling. It was Richard Morton, though, his older brother, who founded the real Morton Empire by creating the Morton Oil Company on March 23rd, 1889, at the age of 27. The Iceman. The Morton family's history of secrecy started with the discovery of a man in the ice during one of his company's prospecting expeditions in Greenland between 1891 and 93. Richard Morton, the influential public figure, became increasingly reclusive, abandoning powerful Boston society circles he frequented to launch himself into daring expeditions that led him back time after time to the site of his first macabre discovery. Deserto is in the background. Look at that face. Look at that face. That's a face only a mother could love, that one in the background. To assist in his missions, which sometimes ended in human and financial disaster, he called upon Swedish, Norwegian sailors and mercenaries, among whom was a certain Judas Deserto. Deserto was a risk-taker, a warrior, and a clairvoyant, interested in the arts of black magic. He was a suspicious character who seemed to have great influence over Richard Morton. The exact cause of this terrible accident was never uncovered, just a train wreck. Someone put a penny on the lines. Against expectations, the family business was flourishing. The Morton Oil Company won over market after market in Venezuela and Indonesia, and in the North Sea, its competitors, meanwhile, were struck by a string of surprising misfortunes. Their key negotiators had accidents, their directors developed mental health problems, and their lawyers would cave in suddenly, agreeing to disadvantageous settlements. No public or private investigation managed to pin a criminal charge on the Morton Group. The family's fortune was known to be huge, however, no one knew how huge. Gibson, around 1900. You find Gibson's body in a lean story in the family crypt, which is, honestly, I'd love to go back and do that part of the game, but it's difficult to do it. Samuel Gibson entered into Richard Morton's service on June 20th, 1899. This brilliant student had a knack for deciphering ancient languages. It turned out that Morton had entrusted him with the translation of inscriptions on tablets found near the famous Iceman. Gibson's work led Richard Morton to Shadow Island, offshore of Shadow Island. The fort that overlooks the island's bleak moors had been abandoned for a good 20 or so years. The soldiers stationed there had experienced hallucinations or suffered sudden bouts of sheer madness. Others simply disappeared without a trace. I should also mention the strange legend that claims the chapel, situated near the fort, had been the site of strange rituals during the 17th century, during which human sacrifices have taken place. The state of Massachusetts needed no convincing when Richard Morton offered to buy the Shadow Island, which he did for a nominal sum. It seems that, to start with, Richard Morton wanted to make the fort his home. He spent a real fortune and superhuman effort on this task before abandoning the idea. He elected instead to build a strange manor on the south side of the island. His decision to buy Shadow Island and live there was because of the engravings on the stone tablets were similar to those found in the island's deepest underground passageways. A letter from Gibson to his fiancée, dated October 14th, 1902. As work on the translations and the engravings advanced, relations between Morton and Gibson deteriorated. The student relished the romanticism of his work, whereas Morton seemed devoured by a destructive passion. What's more, Gibson's discovery seemed to terrify him. He confided his worries and fears in a long letter addressed to his young fiancée, who had stayed on the mainland. This was the last that was heard of him. Gibson's mother later received a terse message: "Your son has disappeared. His body has not been found. My condolences." Signed, Richard Morton. Search warrant. The peak of Richard Morton's disturbing activity coincided with a wave of disappearances among the young girls of Boston's poorer neighborhoods. This is the most disturbing episode of his life. It is my definite belief that he was driven by the evil Decerto. The founder of the Morton dynasty was practicing black magic rituals involving the sacrifice of innocent souls, without doubt, in the very chapel sacrifices had taken place 3 centuries earlier. To what end, I do not know. The first disappearance started in October-November 1903. They continued with the frightening irregularity of 1 month, increasing during periods of equinox until Richard Morton died on April 13th, 1905. On this date, the disappearances mysteriously stopped. Archibald Morton as a child. In 1874, Archibald Morton was born, the only child of Richard Morton and Susan Chalmers, the youngest daughter of Lord Chalmers, a ruined astracat and opium addict. Whilst Morton Oil Company business prospered, Archibald devoted his youth to the study of the polar circles. Like his father, he mounted many expeditions. Like his father, he also developed a fascination for Shadow Island and its strange secrets. Young Polynesian men and women in the hold of a ship. It has slowly emerged that large numbers of young men and women were uprooted from their distant homelands and taken to the island from as early as the end of 1905. Archibald was, in matter, more discreet than his father. Evidence found not only in the accounts of some sailors but some written confessions of a slave trader, Thomas Plunkett, which Decerto's name is cited several times. It seems, however, that no trace of these unfortunate men and women has ever been found on the island. Archibald Morton and Jennifer Pritchett. In 1897, Archibald Morton married his first wife, Jennifer Pritchett, a pastor's daughter and a renowned organist. She was a devout Christian and wrote long letters to her father recounting her disgust for her husband and her despair. The pastor, however, had disappeared the day after the marriage. The undelivered letters were kept in a postal archives where I discovered them still sealed. Archibald Morton treated her with uncommon cruelty. She nevertheless gave birth to his son in 1899. Jeremy Morton as a child. Jeremy was of weak and delicate nature, but early in life he already showed signs of exceptional intelligence. He too was hunted by the secrets of Shadow Island, but his general approach was more scientific. Jeremy Morton was an inventor. The breadth and originality of his inventions, which he never even bothered to patent, is highly impressive. He attended congresses and addressed in conferences. In 1922, he struck up a lasting friendship with one of the last descendants of the Abercanis tribe, Joseph Edenshaw. The Native Americans settled on Shadow Island in 1924. Invoice from the Nobel Company George Wilson. He bought a lot of bombs. Well, phosphorus and stuff. It appears that Jeremy Morton collected a considerable arsenal of weaponry. In less than 3 years, he ordered over 200 pounds of explosives from the Nobel Company in Boston, along with large quantities of phosphorus and magnesium. Jeremy Morton, Joseph Edenshaw. The last 10 years of Jeremy Morton's life were the most secretive and mysterious. In his youth and middle age, the inventor genius hobnobbed with the cream of society. He spent his old age, however, as a recluse on the island. Some accounts of this period make the blood run cold. One example is the marriage of his son, Howard, born in 1831, to Lucy Dogan, for which he stated which he staged a reception on the island. Relations and members from distant branch of the family were present. The party was disrupted by drama when the horrifically mutilated body of one of the guests was discovered in the park adjacent to the manor. Lucy's brother, Michael Dogan, claims to have seen a terrifying lizard-like creature with tentacles armed with enormous fangs. Yeah. The horribly mutilated body of one of the guests. There is no doubt in my mind that the members of the Morton family, Jeremy being no exception, undertook dangerous and frightful experiments on the corpses discovered by Richard and his successors. Experiments that interfere with nature's own course, resurrections from the dead, crossbreeding, genetic manipulation, and there's the family tree. So that gives you, pretty much, that's all the backstory you'll ever bloody need. I'm not going to read any more diaries, that'll be it. Unless I have to read some diaries, then we'll bloody go read some diaries. Actually, we have to read a diary now, don't we? I've got to go back and look through the documents I need. We need to skim through this too. Oh, yeah, the first one is at the top. Then the other one will be directly opposite. They should be numbered anyway, so let's go check them out. We have to fight a boss battle in this area which is a pain in the ass. The fighting a boss battle isn't normally a pain in the ass, but this particular boss is just really annoying. Right, it should be. I believe we can open this as well if I add the numbers together properly. Now 8. 2 8s are 19, 29. That was a 900. 3,929. 9, 2, 9. No? Oh, there must be one for something else then. Unless I didn't add it up right. Yeah, I must have added it up right. No, it's 2 8s is 16, isn't it? What am I doing? Okay, 2 8s is 16. 2 9s are 18. There's no... I can't do basic math. Right. There we go. Fucking got everything else right. Right. Right, so here we have a telescope. Over here we have a niche in the wall containing several statues piled on top of one another. A niche in the wall containing several statues piled on top of one another. Now if we go into the inventory, we can just grab that thing. There you go. That goes in there. That lodges up whatever that is. That opens this, and we get our first statue. Ah. 1 6 0. Yeah, I got it wrong. I can't. I think no. Remember 1709. 170. Nope. I'm gonna have to go check it out. I thought I knew the number, but I can't remember it. So I guess I'll have to just sort of, I don't know, deal with it. Right, okay. So there's a lot of walking to do in this section. Should be... sorry, it's not really there. As stupid as that sounds, it really isn't really there. I think this is the first one. Right, yeah, it's the first one. Now we've gone all the way at the top of this one. We've got to go all the way back down to the ground floor. Man, it is a long walk round to get back down to the ground floor. And then I'm not exactly sure which one of these should have the thing on it. I think it's... I don't know, I'm just gonna go around. I think it's, there's the doors. Turn the lights back on for what use that is. I think it's over here. Or something, it's one of these. I can't remember where it is. I thought the torch would light shining up, but I can't see anything. It's gotta be over here somewhere. Oh, there's one. Is that one? That's the one, yep. Light, darkness, darkness, light. So now we have to go across the room. So it should be directly across the room from where we are. Which places it down there, I think. It's over here somewhere, isn't it? Oh, it's at the bottom of the stairs, isn't it? Light, darkness, darkness, and we should be going back upstairs to get the next one, but we're going to be rudely interrupted. Here it comes. It looks really dumb. I'm just saying. I think the monster design in this game could have been way better. I should probably be using the rocket launcher, but the problem with the rocket launcher is you have to hit it twice before you get anything out of it. I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna try and make my way upstairs anyway. Oh, we do actually get some music. I didn't... Sounds like Abe's Odyssey music. Except for that part, when I said it sounds like Abe's Odyssey music, then something completely different starts. Thing is, you got like one opportunity to get it in the right place. If you don't get it while it's like spreading its wings, then you're basically just wasting your time. I can't even see it, but for some reason the screen totally changes. Let's quickly reload. Let's heal again and then reload. I'm gonna have to keep on going in and out of the menu to reload. What the? Why did it miss? Can't be fucking aiming this thing. Oh, we got it. We got it. Calm down, everybody. We won eventually. Isn't it? It's one of these, isn't it? Oh, no, I think it's that one over there. Wait, no, we've already done the fucking... We've done these ones. It should be on the second floor. Or the top of this floor, or something like that. Or here. Here? I don't know. Honestly, I can't remember where it is. I think it might be at the start of this first floor. I think I'm wrong. I don't know. It just looks like a bookcase. Nothing lights up. I was hoping the torch would... Because sometimes when you got the torch, it just shines a light on it, and you can go like, oh, there it is. But it doesn't look like I'm gonna get any of that out of this thing. Just keep on mashing the A button until I get something. Gotta be around this somewhere. Getting a great deal out of this. Oh, there it is. How the fuck would I guess that? Right, then Richard Morton's picture in the main lobby. Gets unlocked. And we're about, I don't know, a minute away from locking the last one, which will be Jeremy Morton's picture. I don't know why I bother sitting there reading you the whole book. I could have just... I could just recite it from memory. I know that much about it. Right, we're going to switch back to the shotgun. Because we have 3 billion rounds for the bloody thing. Thing's a pain in the ass. Right, so this little thing here, what we have to do is we have to put the telescope, which just looks like a gun, place the telescope on the tripod, and then we use the telescope to look at the wall, and the wall should tell us the number. But I'm not sure where it is. I think it's on that thing, but I can't be sure. There is a number somewhere, but... Oh, it's up there. 1692. Oh, so close. Womp womp womp.
Carnby.
Yeah, it's me. So, found anything out?
I hope you had good news.
Yeah, well, no. I spotted a man in the fort that overlooks the island. It might be Obed Morton.
So?
So what? No, I didn't blast him like a sitting duck, even if that's just what he deserves. This entire mess never would have happened if he and all his bent family hadn't been warped by ambition.
Obed Morton has made great progress in his field.
I wish there was facial expressions, because you can tell Carnby would just be going like, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
Besides, who is Obed Morton to you? I can't talk about him without you immediately getting all worked up.
I have good reason to believe that that Obed Morton is my father.
If that's a joke, it's not funny.
The date coincides, and I was shown a picture.
So that's why you agreed to come to the island.
And
I think it turns out that he isn't, or something like that. I can't remember.
Abcanis writing tablets, my foot. Why didn't you write to him, for crying out loud? Why rush straight over here?
I want to hear it from his own mouth.
Actually, I understand. I should tell you to stay put, but be careful, Aline, and call me if you have a problem.
Carnby, I have a problem.
Hangs up the phone. Yeah. I got 99 problems, but fucking the world of darkness isn't one. I'm gonna get attacked by another dog on the way back. Yep, there he is. Oh, you little shit. Fucking asshole. Seriously, on a window ledge in the middle of nowhere, attacked by a dog. Don't know what that music's for. There shouldn't be anything else in here. Honestly, I get it easy in comparison to Aline's monster. I get some weird flying asshole, but Aline gets Howard Morton's like revived body, which is just something else, really. There we go. Let's roll. Rock and roll, baby, let's rock and roll. Right, so we got to go back to the lobby to activate all the pictures, then we should activate them in general, and then after that, we should be able to get the key and then leave the island. Well, leave the mansion at least. Just gotta get the fuck out of here to begin with. We know we're gonna get interfered with multiple times on the way out of here. Fucking, there you go, there's one. Oh, but he missed. Oh, he was too slow. Right. See, after we've activated the portraits, we then have to go and solve the mystery of when they were born, which is why I sat there and read the storybook, because it tells you at the end when they were born. So he's got a really good one because he's got a key and a weapon, and it's a good weapon too. The plasma cannon, for real, it just fires like super hot fire or something like that. Plasma, some would argue, but I would, you know, there's just a limit of things that actually exist and things that can't. And you think, oh, what the fuck? All he's got is like a piece of metal, but the piece of metal is actually the code of the gate. So all of these then become available. And we're going to crack open the book and I'm going to memorize all the numbers because I'm amazing. Morton family's biography. All we've got to do is skip right to the end because fucking none of this is worth reading. Again. Some would argue it wasn't worth reading to begin with, but whatever. Right. 1931, 1899, 1874, and 1852. 1, 9. One, 8, 9, 9. One, 8, 7, 4. One, 8, 5, 2. Nailed it. God, you have no idea how long it took me as a child. I think as a child of like, I say child, but I was like 12. Still, it took me a long time to try. I mean, I shouldn't have been playing this game when I was 12 anyway, but fucking, it took me a really long time trying to figure this out. I wouldn't say that this game's even like a particularly horrific game for that time. Even for that age, like 12 years old. It wasn't that fucking, you know, wasn't that bad. I mean, it's not bad now. It wasn't bad then. Right, now we can crack the front door open and get the hell out of Dodge. Even though I haven't apparently used half of these keys. Ground floor west, never use that. That's just a small bronze key. I don't even know what that one does. You unlock the door. That's just a pitched down version of a regular door. Crack the light on. We need to just... It's quite easy to escape the place. You only have to kill a few monsters on the way out. Right, if we go over this way... There's some stuff in here. It's quite useful. You take 3 first aid kits and a gas cartridge, which is useful for the plasma cannon, but we're not going to use the plasma cannon until, at least until the start of the second disc. No point bothering with that. Pretty sure the gilded key opens one of these doors. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, well, it doesn't open that door. Okay. Shit. You have to go out the front gate. I always forget that. Every time I play this, I go that way. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is the way. This is the way. You can't go into the greenhouse, so I'm not going to try. The greenhouse is pretty much part of a lean story anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This gate is locked. Now we're going to use the small key. There we go, small bronze key. That unlocks the gate. Now we're going to get attacked by everything and its grandmother on the way out. So there's one already. Good job we changed scene before that happened, because apparently it didn't get to hurt us. Ah, you're too slow. 4 legs and you're too slow. Still. We're going to go this way because they're going to teleport in from the right. I'm going to stop running into the walls. There's one. Missed me again. Just like the dogs on the way in, you can literally just avoid these guys by moving from scene to scene. The zombies are a bit harder to do because they're always in the bloody way and they've got such a good reach. Go, go, go! Not fighting him. Right, this is where a load of zombies appear at the same time, but you can dispatch them all quite easily with a with a couple of blasts from the rocket launcher, which is why I tried to save ammo for it. Because I don't think you really ever get to use the damn thing ever again. Aline gets loads of uses out of the grenade launcher and the rocket launcher, but Carnaby gets like, 3 shots maybe at best. Yep, okay, we've watched them. We've had a good look at them now. Right. Oops. We've actually got than I imagined. Time to fuck them up. Wow. So that went through him and hit something behind him. And did it again. Guess there's a range on this thing. I can't believe that. It went right through him twice. Like, direct. It wasn't like a close miss. It went straight through his fucking chest. So you can, at the start of the game, which was there, you can actually go over and check the fence to see if you can get through the gate, but literally you can't without the code. And even if you do have the code, I don't think it will let you. Right, so we're about to finish disc 1. Combination lock. It should be star, swirl, that, and then that. Was that not it? I'm gonna have to look it up then, aren't I? Oh, it's the other way around. Oh. Let's try it again. There's always some sort of difficulty to stop me from making a really cool ending to a video. Right. It should be star and then swirl. There we go. You unlock the door. And I'll see you in the next video.